Welcome to another episode of Money Grip. This one's kind of special. Normally it's about preludes and my daily drivers, but today we're filming JP's car. We're going to show you how to build the most reliable Renesis Rotary in JP's eyes.
OSHA approved footwear. 1.3 liter Renesis from an RX8. You can tell because this is your exhaust port. So this is for longevity.
Why aren't these things longevidized?
Well, oh shit, this is bad.
Get it together, man! Get it together! Just talk normal!
These weren't balanced well. These were not balanced very well from the factory, not like the RX7s. The E-shafts, the rotors, the counterweights, nothing was balanced very well. And when I went to go get my stuff balanced, material needed to be added to be taken away again just to get everything situated. So the car is not very well balanced.
So what does that have to do with it not being a good rotary?
When you have your harmonics like that in your engine, kind of like throwing it around where there's too much weight to one side or the other, when you're spinning at 7,000, 8,000, you can get your shaft to move or bend with enough force, and that'll start putting premature wear on your bearings. These don't breathe as well as the originals, like 13Bs from the RX7. You have your intake ports here on the plate, that's normal. Now you have your exhaust plate restricted to here, coming out of the plate.
That doesn't look stock.
It ain't stock.
What?
Big street port.
Thought you weren't making no more power.
It wasn't. It was just to have fun. If I had the engine apart, I'm not gonna not do porting. Come on.
You're lying!
Now that you have your exhaust port here, heat builds up more on the plate rather than on the housing, because you would have just a hole to let it out straight away. Now you don't. You have to go through this weird 90-degree bend thing happening.
So why is that bad?
Heat gets trapped because now it's got to move. So
Is that why it always blows out the coolant seals?
it can blow up the coolant seals.
All right, now simplify it.
How?
You increase the exhaust flow for longevity. You got it super balanced for bearing wear patterns. And what other random things have you done to make it good?
Like a little bit of secret sauce. You want to keep your shaft from bending in super high-end like motorsports where you're running the engine multiple seasons at a time or really, really hard. Obviously, mine's going to be more of a daily street car, and I'm not ripping it at 10,000 RPM all the time. But this is something that you're going to want.
Oh.
This stationary gear for there was bolts in that. So here we have a front stationary shaft support. Your shaft is going through here. This is going to be riding on that shaft. So instead of it just being on this bearing, this flat bearing with oil, now you have this. You have a roller. And that'll just get oiled with everything else. And it's on the...
Looks like you did it too.
And it's on the back too.
Now that JP has JP'd about his JP engine mobiler,
Yeah.
it's time for him to start building it.
So I've got all the side seal springs already in there. They've been sitting for a little while. This is how we're gonna pack the shit. You wanna do this all beforehand, so I was still waiting on stuff to come in. You label your shit, okay? This is 12 side seals, and you've got second rotor corners Y to Z. That's this seal. They're all different lengths, so you gotta fucking label them. Some people make 3D printed boxes. They're really nice. I would do that. I only label them X, Y, and Z on one side because I know that's front and back of the rotor. This is like first rotor, the rear. And this one is first rotor, the front. Little life hack. When I bought a soldering iron from Michael's, the little art craft store, it came with this box.
Michael.
Check this shit out. All the corner seals are labeled per corner. These came from Pro Seals. This is Australian. Boosted seals. Oh, I cut my rotors for RX7 seals, by the way. They're deeper, so they'll last a little longer. This is first rotor, front, corners A to C, and RX8s have a taper to them. It's thicker on the top where it seals against the iron, the plate, and it's thinner on the side that goes towards the rotor. This right here is a piece of fucking metal. It goes right in there, and it does a thing. Goodness, Ron, what do you... These are your slugs. If you're doing RX7 seals in an RX8, the apex seals are taller. What I did was I have stock RX8 corner seals, and I got the stock RX8 slugs, the little plugs, the middle, machined out. They wire machined these for me. You can do that too. So then you just jam the joint ski in the joint ski, They usually come super glued together so you don't fuck it up like an idiot. And always save an old Apex seal as alignment tool. This will fit right in there. It's 2mm, whatever. Line up the corner with the plug, and then you just jam your little slug in there. You don't want this to fall out, so always turn it yonder, and then you just plop her right in there.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
So this is gonna be assembly lube and a sort of a paste to hold the seals together when I'm done packing.
When I was in high school, I used to use this shit for anal.
You know, that's also a good use for it. This is where your labeling comes in handy, because now I know exactly where these seals go on this rotor. You always want to make sure that your seal doesn't bring up a corner seal with it. That means your clearance is too tight. My Aussie mate Jeremy, who's speaking to another one of his Aussie mates who does RX8s all the time, and he runs the stock Mazda side seals, the longest length that they have. And this is that. It's part number ending in Z5 or something in the first couple of letters. It's the longest one they make, pre-cut, so you don't have to do any guesswork on the clearancing. But it's imperative to make sure you don't bring up a corner seal when you fit them. If you do, then you might need to grind it a little bit, but remember, you also have 11 other side seal slots to check. So never grind them until you've checked every single slot on your rotor. So this is the front of my front rotor. I have to use the white because the front of your rotors use the white paint. So I already got one in there. The square tab for the oil control ring is facing up, and that little round tab that fits inside that little hole there is facing down. And you just layer right down in there. This will be your cutoff spring. You want the little tabs of this spring that are going up to go point towards the top of the peg. And your peg is right here. You just set it right on down in there.
Yeah, this song's really good.
I like this track.
I need to get your house music playlist.
I gotta get Apple Music just to build it for people.
Yes.
So I can like actually share it. Your little oil control ring that sits on the little square spring that's sticking up. And you lay that right down like that.
Forget about that dumbass O-ring we had to put in there.
Yeah, there is a dumbass O-ring. So the next step here, Ron had to go, unfortunately. We put in the oil control rings, springs, the oil rings for those oil control rings. We have our side seals, we have our corner seals, and our corner seal plugs in. We got our springs for all of them, all on the front side of rotor number 1. We're going to flip this over, do the back side. So I get to rig my setup a little bit, put the front iron on some wood blocks. I finally put the rotor on the front stationary gear on this housing. This is a good time, once you've got all of your seal on one side, to check to see if anything is going to foul on your ports. Okay, so we got the corners of the irons RTV'd. Cool, great. Got the dowels in, awesome. Rotor's still fine. Finished cleaning up both housings. Now, both of these, well, one of them has been RTV'd on both sides. There you go, that leg. You know why? Because we don't want the oil from the sump splashing up onto the coolant seals. We want to keep that as far away from the intake as possible. So, I got the first housing on. I will show you how to do your water seals. Basically, lather these channels with Vaseline and then lay the seals down in there all the way around the perimeter until they seat down. Make sure that the white edges are the bands of your seals. Like these red ones and these black ones underneath it somewhere. The white goes to the outside of the engine. It's going to be like, you can see the layers. You will see a layer of white this way, black in the middle, and white again. It's a plastic liner. Black ones don't have joints. The orange ones have joints. So you want the join of the seal to be on the intake side. So my join is somewhere around this area, the coldest part of the engine. You want that so that they don't melt. So I've jumped a little bit because this is time sensitive. Yeah, I did the other water seals on the housing on the other side, and I dropped in the apex seals and the O-rings for the dowel. The center plate had to go on. Because I'm a little crunched for time now, I think an hour has gone by. I have 4 hours of working time on Vaseline on these water seals. So now I've got 3, and I have to pack a whole rotor and do this again on another housing and do more apex seals. So once all that's done, I'll be able to put in the tension bolts, and I'm waiting on some freeze plugs for this iron because they're all rusty. There's these 3 big ones and then 2 little ones. I don't like the way they look, so I'm going to replace them. Just waiting on that. But yeah, then the spare block will be nearly done. I put RTV on these legs here on the opposite side again, and I'm going to do that for this one. I lathered it with Vaseline. It's ready for the next rotor. And there's the other housing.
So JP was soloing the build because I had a date to go on, but now I'm back, and it's a good thing I'm back because somebody was using some bits and then the bits snapped. So I appeared with the right stuff.
We snap bits here.
And a torque wrench. So now let's get an update.
I haven't slept for 8 in a week, and I'm starting to think that I'm losing my mind. Tell my family I love them, if they're even around anymore. Oh, I think my sanity's coming back. Hi, everyone. Okay, so, yeah.
Are you looking for your internet waifu?
Yes. Where might she be?
I know I found mine.
Yeah.
Her name's Neptune.
Neptune?
Yeah. You know who I'm talking about. You know who
faggot.
You know who I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
A whole lot of tattoos, colorful hair. Now you know.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. I just put a picture like right here, right? Of
Yeah, just
my
right
waifu.
here. You're gonna get copyright for this. It is a vibe.
What are you doing?
RTV in the water, yes. And drop the bolt in it. I know that one doesn't have coolant going through it, but it doesn't matter. Do the RTV anyway, just because.
Look at this dildo. Doing all these dildo bolts.
It's actually starting to sandwich a lot closer together now. That's kind of crazy.
You'll have that on these bigger jobs.
You'll have that when you're doing shit that you.
It'll start torquing a lot faster, trust. Yeah.
Oh, switch it back.
Wait a minute. It didn't look like this when we left.
It does now.
Did it give you any problems when you
Yeah.
were assembling it?
Yeah,
Because
well,
you skipped a lot in the footage.
I dropped apex seals down the coolant ports. Or rather, not apex seals, apex seal springs.
Uh-oh.
Apex spring fell down one of those and then fell down one of the bolt holes, which is like right there.
When I was working on my second rotor and putting in the first apex seal, that one was a doozy. The fucking spring came down, fell all the way the fuck down here into the first iron.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that had to come unfucking done just to get that spring out. When I did that, that's when I saw that my water jacket between this housing and this plate was getting pinched.
This is the end of part 1 for this video.
I guess so.
What's the next RX8 installment gonna install or hold?
Next installment.
You're the star. You. This guy. He's the star right now.
Me. Put some special effect on there. Like explosions in the back or some shit.
No. So the next video is gonna be this thing being done and going in the car?
No. Because there's still a whole intake to do.
Oh, so the next video is gonna be getting it ready to go in the car.
Yeah.
Then you'll have 23 hours until the droplets hit the Now get out of my sight! Like and subscribe for more RX8 content and seeing this guy up front.
Her.
Wow.